We are back in the studio. Welcome, and I am joined by mod Archie.
Hello, my friend. How are you doing?
You got to hold the microphone up to your mouth when you talk, Archie.
I've never done this before.
Let's try this again. Reset. It's okay. Reset. And we're back in the studio, and we're joined by mod Archie.
Hello, buddy. How you doing?
First try. Absolutely perfect first try. Now, this is going to be another interesting interview question. Mod Archie, we've got the old school RuneScape keynote coming up in about 6 or 7 minutes, haven't we?
Yes, that's right.
I'm very, very excited about that. What can you tell me about it?
So many things. Wow, there are so many things coming. Big things that will be really exciting for all old school RuneScape
Okay, you've said a lot, but you've said nothing about the actual keynotes. What's in there? Can you tell me anything?
Content to satisfy all different player types.
Is this another situation where you can't actually tell me anything until the thing has happened?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What's your favorite flavor of crisp?
Oh, salt and vinegar, but I'll give you a curveball. In Canada, we have a ketchup-flavored crisp.
That was a curveball. I was not expecting it. This is fantastic.
Yeah, and all dressed. Just going to say, and anybody in the chat knows, if you know, you know.
Well, we've got to fill a minute worth of time now until the keynote starts, so what do you want to do?
I would like to ask you some questions.
You want to interview me?
Is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah, let's change places.
Oh, yeah, come on. Okay. Cool. So I've been on the floor today interviewing players, getting input on Sailing Alpha and all sorts of things. And I've been seeing you do an absolutely incredible job. To be honest, your energy absolutely elevates this Runefest show, and I think you've done a great job today.
I love RuneScape. If you'd have told, 16, 17-year-old me that in the future I would be hosting the event, I would be involved with the event, I wouldn't have believed you. That would have been an absolute dream come true, and it is genuine. The schoolboy inside me is screaming, is crying. I am so happy to be here. I'm trying to contain this energy.
How do you get so good at this? Because it's very distracting. I've done a little bit of hosting in my time. It's very distracting with the Twitch chat because you just want to read everything they're saying.
You should read everything they say because they're singing happy birthday to you. By the way, it's Archie's birthday, guys. That's the thing that we need to make sure that we always acknowledge. I have wanted to be an actor since I was a kid.
Right.
I had a copy of GoldenEye on VHS, and I'd say to my mum, "Mum, that's what I want to be." Yeah. And she'd look at me with pride and say, "You want to be a spy?" And I'd say, "No, I want to be Pierce Brosnan." And I just followed my acting dream, and I followed my performance dream. I kept being a nerd, I kept playing video games, and now I've been able to combine them into this incredible experience.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
It is no small feat to manage this all by yourself.
Do you want to say, we are now going to throw to the stage, into that camera?
Okay, here we go. We are now going to throw to the stage.
Welcome back to the live studio. What a fantastic presentation we just saw. And joining me now, we have mods Kieren and mod Elena. Welcome to both of you.
Hello, nice to be here.
Are you finally glad to get all that out in the open? I know that you guys have wanted to talk about that stuff for so long.
It feels amazing. Honestly, it's been such a culmination of months of work and prep from the team. But talking about Blood Moon Rises, talking more about sailing and getting that out there, honestly, it's amazing. It feels amazing. I'm still pumped from the adrenaline of going on stage.
You just ran up the stairs. You was like, what are we doing? When's the interview happening? I'm so ready for it. The energy is absolutely infectious. Walking out in a pirate hat as well. Sailing has had, not to put a pun on it, but a kind of rough seas opening. But are you confident in what sailing can become?
It's all smooth sailing from here, Josh. Come on.
Beautiful, love it. So tell us more about sailing. I mean, obviously we've just seen a great video, but what can you tell us about sailing? How is it going to fundamentally change RuneScape?
Well, as I said in the keynote, I think the biggest thing with sailing is that you get to go to this place, the ocean, that you've seen. Like, it exists in the world already, but now you get to go on it. And something that a lot of players have pointed out to me here at Runefest as well is that you get to see these traditional sites that you've seen on land, like the Wizard's Tower, Tutorial Island. You get to see them from this completely different angle now, which is pretty cool. And we're also introducing a bunch of new land masses at sea, islands, different stuff to encounter out there. So getting to go to those places is just really exciting.
Because every new player does walk along the coastline at some point and wonder what is out there, and now to have a chance to actually go and see what's out there is fantastic. I think we can pull up the graphic of the OSRS roadmap so we can chat about specific things that have been mentioned. Let's have a look. So, sailing we've gone through. Yama, this next big boss. Chat to me about Yama.
We've wanted to do a duo-focused boss for quite a long time. It's felt like a niche we've never really hit. Like, we have our bigger group raids and things like that. Even on the boss level, most of them are soloable. And so it felt like we wanted to do something different there. Duo-focused, you can still be able to solo it, but it's going to be duo focused, much like the Royal Titans. Like, it's very encouraged to do it in duos. But while Royal Titans are mid-game, this is more end-game. It's going to be difficult.
Right,
That's cool.
How end-game are we talking? Are we talking like absolute best in slot and you are still going to get slaughtered?
You're going to get slaughtered. It's going to be sort of on the cusp of, like, towards the Inferno, towards the Colosseum kind of thing.
Right.
It's not going to be quite that level, because obviously they're like one-off big challenges, but it's going to be that kind of audience that we're moving a little bit towards here. Expect best in slot tier rewards to come from it.
Oh, we're expecting best in slot tier rewards.
There'll be something.
Okay, no, we're honing in on that. Best in slot. Can you tell us anything about the rewards?
Absolutely not. There'll be more details.
Do you
in the
know
blogs.
anything about the rewards?
A lot of it's still being
Is there a
worked
combination
on.
of words I could say that would make you tell me about the rewards?
Probably not.
Oh,
probably
I tried,
not.
guys.
But you did
I
try
really,
your best.
really
I
tried.
respect that.
What kind of requirements are we going to need to do this, boss?
You're probably going to want to have pretty top-end stats. Gear, maybe a little bit more flexible. Obviously, it helps a lot to have other gear. Oh, we got an Ed.
We are joined by Mod Ed, who has just sprinted off the stage. Fantastic, by the way. Good job with that.
Thank you,
We are just talking about the requirements for the new boss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What are the requirements for the new boss?
Requirements-wise, it's more like what you're going to need to be able to actually beat it and have a good chance of standing it. Now, I say that. You see some of the levels that people beat, like the Inferno with nowadays. Ridiculously low stats and so on. I mean, we'll see what happens.
So we're talking, if
So-
you're really good, maybe level like 30, 40, something like that.
What people do it on day one
Maybe
will
a
be
bit
very
higher.
different to 5 years later, I reckon.
Okay,
It'll
we're
be
gonna
very
see-
interesting to see. But I'm excited for it. It's a cool design. I love the demon boss, and I love that we're putting it in the Chasm of Fire. It's felt like it's got potential there. It's this really cool dungeon. It's got a lot of verticality to it, but there's nothing on the ground level. And I can't wait to actually put something there. It feels like we're filling a real gap there. So
From a game
makes
design
sense.
point of view, when you say verticality, you know that's my favorite word when I'm critiquing a game. Ed, thank you for sprinting over, by the way, and joining us.
That's all right. That's all right. I needed to get the exercise in.
How are you doing today?
I am doing very well, thank you.
Talk to us about everything you have just shown on stage. What are you most excited about?
What am I not excited about? So, you may have noticed I quite like the vampire storyline. I quite like the Mayaki.
You were getting into that a lot. I liked it. The energy was there. As soon as you started talking, I was like, go on.
I have wanted to make this quest for a very long time. Back when I first started working on this storyline with A Taste of Hope, I was already thinking about how it would end. I already knew some of the key plot points of this quest as early as when we were making Sins of a Father. And to now, all these years later, finally be announcing it, this is just such an amazing moment to finally be able to reveal this quest to everyone.
What do you think it is about the vampire quest line that has so intrigued you, that has so enthralled you? Because it does start from very humble beginnings to very grandiose endings, but what really attracts you to this?
I think part of it is very much just that. It is quite possibly RuneScape's darkest story. In a game where we sometimes make quests about frogs and forming an uprising and penguins taking over the world, it is quite a dark storyline, but somehow it does still very much feel very RuneScape. As you say, that starting from those plucky beginnings to eventually trying to take down this vampire overlord, it feels very RuneScape to me.
So let's ask the question that everyone is thinking, a two-part question specifically. What requirements are you going to need to start and take on this quest?
So, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have a full answer for you yet. We don't know the exact skill requirements. We still haven't fully decided those. What I can say at this point is that this is a Grandmaster quest. The requirements will match up. There's going to be multiple skills of level 70 plus. There will potentially even be one or two, pushing up to sort of the high 70s.
Right.
What I can say, quest-wise, is that, unsurprisingly, this will require Sins of a Father, and it will also require a Night at the Theatre, quest-wise.
So you are going to have a lot of kind of prerequisites to start this quest, but then we go on the quest, we finish the quest. What do we get for finishing the quest?
What do you
are
get
the
for
rewards?
finishing the quest? So, as you may have noticed, we're getting to go to a brand new area as part of this quest. We are getting to go to Vampirium, which is very exciting. We're getting to visit the original home of the vampires. And of course, that seems like a very nice opportunity to maybe, after the quest is complete, maybe just let you pop back again and engage in a few new activities there.
Engage in a few... Okay, so let me just kind of read the context clues there. You finish this incredibly difficult quest, unlock a really cool area. What are we killing in the new area, and what is it dropping?
Isn't that obvious?
Of course it's obvious, but it's cool. That's what we want.
Are there vampires there?
Are there pirates there? Are there vampire pirates there? What do they drop?
Vampires.
Vampire pirates. Okay. So...
If vampirates aren't in the game by the time you release this, you need to put them in the game. What is it dropping?
I think we now have I think we've got long enough that we could include the vampirates. However, what I can say is that we definitely do have plans for some exciting new PVM content, but unfortunately, I can't tell you what it is yet.
Do you know what it is? You just can't tell me.
So, we have an idea. We have some ideas, but it's just not quite early enough to share what those ideas are yet.
Are they awesome ideas, though?
I think they're awesome ideas, but I might be biased.
Of course you're biased, but that doesn't mean that you're wrong. Ed, Kieren, Elena, thank you very much for joining me. I believe we now are going to throw to an awesome advert for some of the new RuneScape U2s. It was a super fast change. Nobody even saw us do that. That's what the adverts are there for. That looks awesome. We have the Wise Old Man and we have Gnome Child. We have changed around the JMods already, and I am now joined by mods. I want to get this correct. Arcane, Other, and Rice. Yes, I'm doing so well with these names. Guys, thank you very much for joining me so far.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Hi, Josh. Big fan.
Let's just discuss what you guys have said on stage. And first of all, I want to say something as a performer. You guys are not using cue cards on stage.
No, very
How
nerve-wracking
long did
so.
it take you to memorize your presentations?
We've been working together as like a team in an auditorium, just like the devs, trying to memorize this stuff, I think, for the better part of like 4 weeks.
Yeah, we've been going at this for quite a long while, and I'm pretty sure most of us were up quite late last night just going over it in our hotel rooms. It's been a lot.
My strategy was to record myself and then play it on loop for around 2 weeks straight.
That is an excellent strategy. I've used that to memorize theatre shows before. It's really, really paid off. You guys are able to give excellent presentations on stage, and the crowd are absolutely loving it. So let's talk about some of the actual updates. The exceptionally hard Yammer fight. Who is best equipped to chat about Yammer? How do I kill Yammer?
With damage.
Excellent, cool. I'm going to go and do that right away. Tell me about this fight. How complicated is it? What have you added? What is new? What is surprising? You haven't got to give the strategies away, but what are the players going to enjoy?
I mean, it's a giant demon with a giant axe. It's going to have lots of like fire and shadow magic. It's a duo boss, so it feels a little bit different there. Roll Titan's obviously done something quite good there, where it doesn't feel required for duo, but it's so much nicer with duo to the point where it actually is efficient and just more enjoyable. And we've been coming up with mechanics to kind of promote that sort of gameplay. I'm hoping it feels like a really nice, epic fight. I'm trying to learn from my mistakes of maybe creating bosses that are like too exhausting long term, because that's a bit of a bad habit that I've had in the past. So I want it to be like a really nice, hard challenge. It's very punishing and stuff, but I'm hoping to get that balance where once you get good at it, you can kind of turn your brain off a little bit, like TOB, right? Like TOB, eventually, once you've got through your first like 50, 100 kills, you can start to relax a bit. You get in the rhythm, you get in the flow state, and then it's a bit more relaxing, right? TOA, I feel like is quite locked in most of the time. You very rarely get to just relax. So
you heard it here first, Chad. If you can't kill this boss completely mindlessly after the first 50 or 60 kills, you just need to get good. That's the plan that we're going with. Thank you very much. Guys, what are you most excited about?
It's got to be the crab, Josh.
When you said a jungle is not complete without, my brain kind of went, it's probably a giant crab. And then you went, a giant crab.
It's always a giant crab.
Talk to me about the giant crab.
I mean, what's there to say? It's beautiful.
The artwork did look lovely, by the way.
It's even more exciting in game. And honestly, I think the big thing for me about the crab is just taking something that we know players do. You know, we know players really enjoy a zero stats enemy that they can kind of park themselves at, train themselves up, get themselves ready for the big new content like Yammer. But we're also aware that there are issues with that. You know, it's so easy to get crashed somewhere, multi-combat, where you're not holding aggro for all this time. And you might end up in an argument with someone, and you're not having fun at that point. So why not have a huge crab that's really pretty, forces you to explore the new area, which, that's a free win, and you just have everyone in the world hunting this crab. Like, teamwork.
I can tell how excited you are for this to be released into the game. You're going to be standing there in the offices watching everyone sorting it all out and just hoping that the players are going to be loving it. And I'm sure they will. Bryce, what are you most excited about?
It's a bit of a cop-out answer because it's already been given.
Okay.
But I'm also really excited for Yama.
You're also going for the end game combat content.
Yes. We have been talking about this for a while, and there's something about like the energy of the ideas, the bouncing back and forth, that gives me a really good feeling. Like we're headed in a direction that's really excited and that's going to make something really cool.
So, do you know what the rewards for the fight will be?
We've talked about them, and we've talked to some players about them, and we think that the ideas we have could really shake up the end game meta.
Is there a combination of words that I could say that would make you tell me what those ideas are?
To be clear, there is a blog out right now with all of the Yama rewards.
Oh, we can talk about them.
So we can actually talk
Excellent.
about
So you can actually tell me all about them.
The thing I'm most excited for is the ability to horn my allies. I will now be able to blow a horn and impact them positively. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to.
So you're super excited to be able to horn your allies.
Yes, and I hope everyone else will be.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We had catgirls confirmed earlier. Now you can horn your allies. This is great. This is going ridiculously well. So apart from the endgame bosses, let's talk about some of the more kind of mid-level skilling stuff. What's your favorite new addition that's going to come to the kind of early to mid-game?
That's an interesting one. We do actually have, as a part of the Yama rewards, a proposal for some new mining activities and some new runecrafting shake-ups.
Would you have needed to have killed Yama in order to get access to those things?
No. Yama's Chasm is only accessible to some people, but you won't have to have killed Yama to access it.
When you say only accessible to some people, what will the requirements be to get into the chasm?
Can we say that?
Can we talk about that yet?
Yeah. AKD. The events that happen in a kingdom divided are pivotal to the progress that leads to Yama being revealed. So
excellent. So there's a narrative connection to it there.
Absolutely.
And
always.
You're creating an area which will then have mid-level content around the end game combat.
It's not so much mid-level content. It's more so that it will shake up the sort of mid-level interaction with the
okay.
We're introducing systems around skilling that are going to connect skilling with PVM and create the sort of like ecosystem that that used to be very common, where PVM drops link to skilling, skilling links back to PVM, so on and so forth.
Let's chat about the halberd change. The slight combat. You've given me a face there. Are you not keen on the halberd change?
I'm actually really excited for the halberd change. I'm glad I'm not the one that has to be implementing it, personally.
Why? What's the complexities of the halberd weapon?
It's the extra tile of range. I think it's one of those things that really changes how you are interacting with an enemy. And personally, I really want to go hit Zulra with the Noxious Halberd. That thing is nutty.
Halberds have always had this iconic kind of place within RuneScape. For me, you always use them when you're playing through the game and you're killing the Black Knight Titan and want to safe spot it one square away because it can't get there. And then you've got a couple of enemies that take up more than one tile that you want to swipe at. Do you think this will mean that halberds get used in more locations in the game?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping we see a diversification of melee equipment. I think it's something that there are people on the team who are interested in seeing. And it also just opens up this huge range of both boss mechanics. We can say, hey, this is a melee boss. There's going to be a phase. It might be flying, but we've removed the shackles from the halberd.
Okay. So there's a lot of potential mechanical advantages that we can now start to see the halberd really taking advantage of.
Oh, absolutely. And, I know we've got the minds to come up with the ways to use that as well.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. You guys come up with some cool stuff. Let's chat very briefly, very quickly. I know we're running out of time, about the summer sweep-up. Tell me about the summer sweep-up.
I was part of Project Rebounds last year, and I really wanted to do a bit of quality of life and love for the standard spellbook, since it does seem to be everyone obviously just sticks on like Lunars for Venge, or more recently the Arcane spellbook for Thralls, and they'll just use it everywhere in the game. And I think most people resonate with the idea of being able to cast those like elemental spells and like actually exploit things' weaknesses and things like that. So I think we did a pretty good job last year. Like people really appreciated it, like Barrows in particular, like people using like Airwave and things like that on Barrows. It's fantastic, and it really helps out like early mid-game experience when Mage starts to fall off a bit. So like rolling that out almost across the entire game, I think has a lot of really exciting opportunities. Obviously, we'll have to be careful we don't disrupt things in like any negative way or anything like that. But I think there's a lot of opportunities there, like push the standard spellbook, push Magic in a really positive way, because I think people really love Magic as just a style generally, and it's historically been a bit underloved.
I think it's going to bring, hopefully, a lot of life to the mid-game, and it's going to bring a lot of life to extremely experienced players who want a hell of a hard challenge and taking on this brand new boss. Guys, thank you very much for joining me to chat. I am joined now with the annoyingly attractive Mod Sween. How you doing?
Says you.
No,
I've seen the comments.
I
didn't know Josh was so built. Oh, what a handsome man.
No, listen, when I'm trying to explain who you are to people, I just say keep walking until you see the annoyingly tall, attractive man. That's what it is. And they're like, oh yeah, I've got him.
I'm a big fan of yours. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm a big fan of yours. Right, now that mutual respect and bond is there, let's talk about the Golden Gnomes.
Yes, please.
Tell me what, for anyone that doesn't know, I'm sure everyone in the chat knows, but just give me a brief explanation of what the Golden Gnomes actually is and why it happens.
It's like the old school RuneScape and the RuneScape Oscars, but way bigger. I think it's even better than that, because it's people who are so passionate about the game and the kind of content we're putting out all the time. It's just the perfect celebration of all things RuneScape. We sit and play. You're familiar with the term of the second screen monitor, right?
I exist on your second screen. If you're watching this right now, I know you're playing RuneScape on your primary screen. This is on your secondary screen. That's fine. That's the way things should be.
And you know what's on the third screen? Because there probably is a third screen or a fourth screen as well. It's somebody's new tile, chunk man mode, whatever else, right? There's so much old school content out there, and that's what the Golden Gnomes is all about, celebrating the really talented people here. We're playing RuneScape, we're watching RuneScape, we're reading RuneScape, we're talking about it all the time. It's just all RuneScape, and I love it.
RuneScape started as a small-scale but fun online adventure and has grown over the years, and the content created around it has grown as well. We've seen YouTubers, we've seen Twitch streamers, and the Golden Gnomes allows us to celebrate every aspect of that. I think we have 20 categories.
No, we have 26. 26 awards are being given out tonight.
That's insane. That's a lot of awards because that's a lot of creative content. What award are you, I'm not going to say is the best, obviously, but what are you most excited to see? Or a couple that have got you excited?
I'm really excited by the new categories, and we added new ones. So here's the thing, we went remote. We went remote with the summits, and like this is the first Runefest, we're back again. And there was only so much we could do to innovate and expand on a remote live stream Golden Gnomes. And now in person, we're well placed to bring more people up on stage and celebrate the talent. So we've introduced awards like Gamer of the Year. It's not just about content creation and the most like exciting narrative. It's who's good at the game, who's doing the really cool stuff. We're celebrating that. People have been making guides. I mean, I was reading Tippet and RuneHQ from a very, very young age.
Tippet!
Exactly.
There's an HYT exclamation mark was the identifier within the game. I'm showing my age there.
Exactly. And so now we've introduced the Best Guide Maker or Best Educational Content Award too. I'm really excited by that one because it's people put a lot of time in and helping level people up in terms of what they can do in game. And now it's high time we celebrate it, and we're doing that tonight.
You talked about guides. Some people in the chat will actually be surprised to know that RuneScape quests actually have dialogue. And if you play the quest without just smashing spacebar to get through it, some of it's really well written. But we're not just talking about the guide makers and the digital content creators. There's a lot of real-life, physical content that has been created around RuneScape. How has it been to see that grow from a relatively small niche thing to now absolutely massive?
I can't even put it, I mean, it's a cop-out answer, and I will try and do it, but it's really difficult to put to words. Just walking around today and seeing the amazing cosplay, the cosplay parade earlier was fantastic. Even then, our own official merch offerings are getting better and better. And the show, I mean, the people at home, they've seen some elements of the show floor, but just walking around and seeing the Grand Exchange, and seeing the Valak Fountain, and seeing it all come to life, blows my mind.
So anyone who is watching at home, if you hopefully see some of the incredible set photos of Runefest afterwards, they have built the Varrock Fountain. and it's actually flowing with water. They've built the Grand Exchange. We've got so much actual stuff, and walking through the castle entrance, there was almost a moment of, I'm in RuneScape, I'm in Varrock, I'm back to being 15 years old, and there's a game that they've added, a trading card game on the actual show floor.
That's
where
amazing.
It's really cool because you need to get different types of ore, don't you?
That's exactly it. So it's a trading game, and in the tournament you get a skill chip. I'll be honest with you, I've seen people not complete the game. They just like the memento, and I've signed so many RuneLite ore cards and that kind of thing to this evening. It's incredible.
But what you've created is people are standing around the real-life Grand Exchange shouting, I have iron, I need adamantium, I have rune, I need mithril, and you've created like an actual little trading hub, which is beautiful. We have seen the content creation aspect of RuneScape grow substantially. What do you think has surprised you the most from the RuneScape animated music videos of yesteryear all the way up to the almost Hollywood-level production stuff now? How's that changed for you?
So, I mean, going way back, you have the RSMVs, old style, and then now we have like the Hollywood, but also celebrate the stuff in the middle, like the Chris Archie prods. That kind of set the scene. It made people realize there's an appetite for what comes next and just pushing boundaries. And I think the one thing I really love most about that is there are lots of people who don't play RuneScape, but also recognize that RuneScape content, like the Guild games, for example, it reaches wide gamer appeal. People who are maybe adjacent to RuneScape or used to watch it, or used to play it rather, are still catching up and they're watching Guild games, they're watching All-Stars. It's just the prevalence and the kind of how RuneScape permeates into every online gamer's life. Even if you don't play it, you're probably going to watch it or hear about it or see a tweet from your favorite creator is probably watching, regardless of what you play, your favorite creator is probably watching RuneScape content or even playing RuneScape on the side.
It's absolutely incredible to me how many people from so many walks of life and so many jobs and so many backgrounds end up consuming RuneScape content. It's difficult for RuneScape, I think it's always been difficult, for RuneScape to break into the mainstream. And yet we've seen a couple of YouTube series, a couple of Twitch series that have been able to do that. Where do you see RuneScape content going in the future? What would you like it to do?
I don't know where it's going to go. I could not have predicted 5 years ago that the level of content will reach this stage. I look at All-Stars last year. That's fantastic. It was just prolific. People want more and more and more of that type of content. And it was just content creators coming to us with ideas for support. That's where I wanted to go, actually. I'm going to scrap the original bit, right? I want more and more content creators coming to us with great big visions and saying, how can we help them make it a reality? Which is exactly what we're trying to do, and we're getting better at it too. So the more people like Solar Mission and Soup who are coming to us with these huge, vast pitches for support, and then we're able to kind of help refine it. So if you're an up-and-coming content creator, you've got some amazing ideas, chat to us. We're pretty easy to reach and talk to online, really. Just chat to us and talk about how we can make it better, and we'll do our very best.
So are you telling me that if someone out there watching this right now has an idea for RuneScape content, whatever it may be, that Jagex are willing to put some time aside to try and help them make it a reality?
I would say so, yes. I mean, it needs to be like a fleshed out idea, first of all. It needs to be kind of well presented to us. Ideally, you have some kind of presence as well, in which case we can, because we get a lot of messages, ideally have some kind of presence already, and then we can take it more easily note, because otherwise we've got hundreds of thousands of players, and it becomes really difficult. Just, put some time into formulating it in a really nice way, and then we can help riff on it. You know, if it's just like a one-sentence tweet, I have an idea for a video, that's quite difficult to work with, right? But give us a bit more than that, and then maybe we can make some magic happen.
That is absolutely beautiful. The fact the company is willing to even open the discussion that they will help and they will assist if you want to be creative. Of everything you've seen here today, everything RuneScape-based, everything old-school RuneScape-based, what are you personally most excited about?
I am, this is a tough one, next year's Runefest. I mean, this is not an announcement of one, if there is going to be one, because...
You've announced it now, man.
No.
Twitter and Twitch, they're going to take it as an announcement.
If my boss is watching, and my boss's boss, and my boss's 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 boss is watching, I have not announced anything. However, we saw the old school keynote, and there's lots of updates on things you already know about, plus some cool stuff coming like early 2026. We saw Blood Moon Rises. Kieren mentioned Raid 2026. Let us deliver really great projects this year, the stuff we already know about. We'll deliver it to a high standard, and then next year, you know, you're hungry for some new stuff, right? Mm-hmm. We'll make the stuff you know about really good, and then we're ready to surprise you and delight you again. Because I've seen reactions to some of the announcements so far. You want to see more new stuff. Similarly, you want us to deliver the stuff we've already said we're delivering. Difficult to do both, but we're going to try our very best to do that.
I think it would be a true shame if Runefest does not continue. I would like it to continue. I like the interaction between Jagex, between the player base, between the customers, between you, between me, between everyone behind the scenes. And I think that Runefest, hopefully, will have a bright future. Don't quote me on that, but I really hope it does. Now, are you excited for the Golden Gnomes?
Very, very excited. I'm delighted to be on stage giving one as well. It's always my favorite part of the show, actually, is to be able to personally hand a creator a gnome.
Well, I think you might need to make your way down there pretty soon. Tech team, do we have the Golden Gnome ready? 1 minute. 1 minute until the Golden Gnomes are finally going to be presented to you live. So, if anyone's not watched a Golden Gnome before, what do they need to know, and why does this matter?
It matters because people want to be appreciated for the hard work, and that's exactly what this is about. Now, the Golden Gnomes, I want people to bear in mind that players voted on majority of these awards as well. So you might see some winner announcements. I'm unfamiliar with most of the announcements myself. I like it to be a surprise. You might see something you disagree with. It doesn't matter. The beauty of RuneScape is that everybody has a say. Most of the votes were cast by players as well. And a huge variety. There's video content, streaming content, music, events. Like I said, best gamer, best guide maker. We're celebrating the community champions, so the people maybe more behind the scenes who aren't making content or like really shiny videos, who are just really doing their best to make the game a better place and help other people. So the community champion awards at the very end of the show, they're going to be a really special one to look forward to.
Celebrating the community is something that I think is absolutely vital and something that I appreciate that Jagex are doing at all. Celebrating the players, celebrating the creators, celebrating what has helped bring RuneScape out into the mainstream, out into the zeitgeist of culture, really keep it an iconic video game for the ages. Can I be really cheeky, you handsome man, and ask you to sign my t-shirt?
I would be delighted to. And I'd also like to say one more thing as well.
Go for it.
Everybody at home, thank you for joining us for the live stream. I know you're not here in person, but the fact that you're joining the live stream, you're here with us in spirit, and it shows you care about the game just as much as we do. And even if you're kind of voicing any hesitation or trepidation around some of the stuff we've announced, we appreciate that too, because it shows you care. But just go with everything with an open mind. Sailing Alpha, give it a go, try it out, and then the rest of the content announcements, join the feedback, get into the polls, just help us out. I love you very much. Thank you so much. And I'll sign your shirt right now.
That is beautiful. Welcome back to the Runefest live studio. Now, we are drawing to a close. The end of the show is rapidly approaching, but I am lucky enough to be joined by two of the most prestigious JMods here. We have Mod Mark.
Hello.
And we have Mod Pips.
Good evening.
For anyone that may not know, give a real brief rundown of your positions within Jagex so people know exactly who they're hearing.
I am a creative director at Jagex, and if anyone's watching this stream and doesn't know who I am, then, well, I'll be shocked. But, yes, I get to be a creative director, working on all sorts of different things, a lot of the creativity that comes from Jagex.
Involved in absolutely everything. I love it. And Mod Pips?
I'm Jagex's CEO. I've been in charge of RuneScape for about 12 years, as in all RuneScape, and CEO for 8.
So the creative director and in charge of RuneScape. They're two pretty important positions. Runefest, one of the best ways the community and Jagex can connect. What does it feel like to be back at Runefest after 6 years?
Fantastic. The vibe in this place has just been incredible. It's been such an amazing opportunity just to kind of reconnect with our players. I like, when we think about Runefest, there's certain characters in our minds, people that you're just desperately keen to meet again. And I've met all of them. Only one person, actually, that I've not, well, two people, I suppose. Afro Man, if you're out there somewhere, I hope I see you at the achievement party. And Padre, I hope you're out there somewhere, Padre. I don't know. I hope
Padre,
so.
where are you? Where are you? Mark needs you, Padre. Let's get back.
Well.
And Pips, what's it like being back at Runefest?
It's amazing. I'm so glad we got this back. It's taken a hell of a long time.
Yes.
And it's been a battle at times against, other forces outside when we were, trying to get this going last year.
Yes.
Persevered through. And I'm so glad we did. Getting to, talk with hundreds of players, getting players together themselves in real life, which doesn't happen so often.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute treat. I'm so glad we did it.
Yes.
You mentioned about battling with forces outside. There is always drama around setting anything up. How difficult is it to bring Runefest to the people, and is it worth it?
It is incredibly difficult. There are an army of people behind everything that you can see all over the place. So many people involved. We've been working on this for years, ultimately. All the signs, when all the disaster happened before, all the signs were, this isn't going to work out for you, right? The kind of fatalist in me, it was a real hard time. But there's one thing we all agreed on, which was we have to make this happen. It doesn't matter what forces conspire against us. We don't care. We're Jagex, and Runefest is important to everybody, but it's important to us as well. The vibe in the office, all the energy that we put out there, we get back 100-fold. We take that back to the office and we make awesome content. It happens every year. The quality of the content that we make following Runefest is fantastic. And that is thanks to all the people that come, that fill us with this incredible energy that you just couldn't get any other way. It is, wow, it's a joy, a genuine joy to be here and to spend a weekend with these people. I get quite emotional thinking about this kind of stuff. It's a great time, right?
Yeah, and with every year that passed since the last Runefest, obviously we had COVID in the way, but it's felt like this sort of impatience or longing to get it back again.
Yes.
And, huge credit to the team working on this. Not just bringing Runefest back, doing it in a completely different place, doing it when we've got, a bigger community, like more demands and more expectations, but also like twice the size, tons more stuff crammed in 2 days rather than one. So, it took on a big challenge and absolutely nailed it. I've been so pleased, and I think everyone attending here has just been overflowing with joy. So.
It has been an absolutely huge event, live, in person, fantastic. But for everyone watching, there's also been some fantastic reveals and roadmaps. Tech team, can we pull up a picture of those roadmaps on the screen? Let's just have a real quick look at the roadmaps that we've got now. We don't have too much time here, but Mark, what are you most excited about and looking forward to?
So, new area expansion in RuneScape Havenhide looks great. There's a lot of proper original vibes going on there, the kind of mashup of skilling and the questing and everything. A really strong storytelling there. The team behind it are super hyped. There's a real buzz around that I'm very, very excited about. And sailing, of course.
Of course.
I've waited years for this hat to really fit into RuneScape, and finally it's going to work.
Are you just excited now that your pirate outfit makes sense?
Well, the player-owned ports was like the tiny version of sailing, and now we're going to have the massive version of sailing.
Absolutely love it. And Pips, what are you excited for?
Well, I thought the almost mic drop moment with RuneScape 3 was the leagues announced.
Yeah.
We've learned a huge amount on old school, and to take that and make a special version for RuneScape, I think is going to be awesome.
Yep.
And I can't just copy sailing, can I? I tell you what, even though it's not quite as seemingly sexy, I think the work on the technology for old school client is going to lay the foundations for whether it's plugins on mobile, whether it's improved graphics, improved performance, as something that's going to affect every player in some way for decades into the future. So actually really important.
So we have a complex and intriguing roadmap for both RuneScape 3 and old school RuneScape. So much content coming to people. I'm going to ask one very simple question that may have a complex answer. We haven't got too much time.
Okay.
Why should someone play RuneScape?
Why should someone play RuneScape?
Why do you think someone should play RuneScape?
I'm going to give you a very simple three-word answer. RuneScape for life. RuneScape is a life-changing experience, and the amount of people that come up to us and say, "You've changed my life." I came to RuneScape. I met people. I feel part of something bigger than myself. Something I want to commit to. Something that where I feel more of myself when I'm there.
Beautiful.
RuneScape for life.
The passion is palpable. Pips, why should someone play RuneScape?
To join this amazing community, whether it's the thousands of people here, everyone who is on the stream, everyone who's playing right now. It's a damn good place to spend some time and have fun and escape and socialize, and I don't think you can get anywhere better.
It's an amazing community. It's an amazing game. It has a lot of amazing content that we have revealed to you today that people are very, very excited to make and then to play. And RuneScape, I think, has an extremely strong future. Gentlemen, could I please be cheeky and ask you to sign my shirt?
Absolutely fine. Yeah, you want me to do that right now?
Absolutely,
okay.
Do it right now, and I will play us out. Mark and Pips will be signing the T-shirt that I have had since Runefest 2011, which is a personal, beautiful thing for me to see. And I believe now we have a highlight reel of several things that happened at Runefest, so anyone watching can have a real glimpse into what we got up to. Tech team, let's play those highlights. That will wrap up Runefest for this Saturday. It's been an incredible day. We've spoke to some incredible people and seen some absolutely phenomenal updates, BTs for the game that we love. We've had amazing content creators, and we've had that phenomenal rock intro from Cole Rowland and Mod Ash. But thank you to you, everyone who joined us on Twitch, everyone who's been watching live, everyone who sent in comments, and everyone who has ever been part of the RuneScape community. I believe Mark said it correctly when he said RuneScape for life. It's been a big part of my life, and it will continue to be a big part of my life. These shows are difficult to put on, so massive thank you to the tech team that I can see that have been phenomenal with helping me. They've been in my ear all day, making sure I get everything right. Without them, I look like a complete novice. RuneScape is near and dear to me. It will stay near and dear to me forever. I hope it's near and dear to you as well. Thank you for joining us. And hopefully, I'll see you at the next Runefest. Take care and good night.